Welcome back to Chapter 3 of InDesign, and in this video we're going to take a look at InDesign's behavior. We can take a look at hidden characters, and in other programs as well as Adobe, you might be able to get to the hidden characters. I know Microsoft does have a function for that, and it can be very helpful to see what exactly is going on with your text. Now here I've got a little bit of text, and it's from our book. Here on the left hand side I've got it where I just typed in the text, and then on the right hand side it's the same thing. I duplicated it, only I made some things happen with it, some spacing. I also took and changed the point size of a little bit of the text, and I also spaced them out. So we'll get to some of those techniques as we go along. But one of the things that you should turn on periodically, at least to see what's happening with your text, or if you need to, is to show hidden characters. Now let's take a look at a visual from our book. This is again same text, but to the left hand side you want to take a look at this chart. These are a few of the identifiers for hidden characters in your text block, and they show symbols of what is happening on the line. Not only do you have characters on your line of text, but you may also have some of these hidden characters to say what is happening in between or at the end of a line, in between letters, things like that. So we can tell what exactly is happening. Now, what is it useful for? Well, one of the things that I find very useful is to make sure that I have a full paragraph return. We use the return key on Macintosh. We use Enter on a PC keyboard. So this hard return means that's the end of the paragraph, this signal right here. Now the soft return here, what is a soft return? Well, that means it's at the end of the line, but I want to keep the formatting type of thing going from the line before, and I want to break that line right where I want it to break, so that the text following the soft return will be on the very next line down. Now you see here where we've got some spacing in between the lettering, so this is extra spacing. And one of the things about when we talk about the fine art of setting type, a lot of what you're going to be working with is fine-tuning and making sure that everything is perfectly formed the way you want to in the spacing across your text, like in a line of text, and also in between and one line of text following another. Now it may seem really crazy. What difference does it make? Well, I want to remind you that, look at this, on the next line, on this example without any spacing and the sample with some spacing and a little bit of type size work, that can make a huge difference on how you read and the readability and of your text, and for your audience that's reading this, they can understand it a lot better. Okay, so that's what we use this for. So some of these characters, also one of the things I find useful is to have a tab, knowing that there's one tab or multiple tabs. Okay, down the road, Chapter 5, you're going to learn about tabs. And if you are a person that, if you're going to be pushing some text over on the page and you press spacebar key, space, or the tab, just to move a line of text and line things up, okay, we're not going to do that any longer. You are now going to become professional people, and professional people are very specific about the tabs. So being able to see the tabs is a very good thing. The last thing is, of course, the end of story here, and you can see it looks like a little hash mark. So your hard return paragraph looks like a backwards P. The soft return looks like an angle bracket. Space bar, well, what's that for? What that means is white space in between letters. And what if you have 2, or what if you have 3? I get a lot of text from clients, and I have to put it into my document from other people's typing. And other people's typing could be better or much worse than mine, which would be a bad thing because I'm a very poor typist. But I would be able to see if there are too many spaces in between on something visually. Tab is a set of 2 chevrons, or in other words, like an angle bracket, and then end of story is like a hash mark. Well, that's my alarm, and so I'm going to stop that. That's great. Forgot I set that alarm. All right, so taking a look at this, well, I don't see the marks, so how do I get there? Very simple. For you to go under, of course, this has everything to do with type, okay? And so we're going to go to the type drop-down menu. This is true of any version of InDesign. Type drop-down menu, and guess what? It's way at the bottom, show hidden characters. This is a toggle so you can turn it on and off. So show hidden characters, and there we are. Now these are Nonprinting Blue, so if I zoom in here, like you see here, let's take a look at this. And you can see, I can even see the end of line, and I can highlight it so I could do something with it very specifically. Okay, and I don't know if you can see it here, but let's zoom in a lot, and if I were to manage to move this over, you'll see a dot there. Okay, that's my space in between. All right, so I also have a non-breaking space return, or a soft return, in other words, a soft return, meaning that this line of text and this next line of text following it both have a relationship. It's not a hard return. Whatever I do to this one as a paragraph, it's going to happen with the next paragraph. Okay, so some things are more useful than others. It depends on what you're exactly working on. Okay, how do I do a specific soft return? Okay, to do a hard return, of course, you're going to press return or enter on your keyboard, and like here's the paragraph. But if I highlight that, or I'm going along and typing, and I can have my cursor as an insert area, then I just need to hold down my shift key and press return or enter. The shift key plus the return or enter key on your keyboard. So that combination will get me a soft return. Okay, so those paragraphs are not completely paragraphs, not completely independent of each other. Okay, and you'll soon find out why that's kind of important. Okay, in the next video, we're going to take a look at some more typesetting values, how to set some spacing like I have here, and changing type sizes, and how we select text.